flavor.
We'll
Actually, not all Spanish food is spicy.
No, because that'd just be spicy all day.
I mean, paella is actually like a nice, mild dish.
Yeah, paella.
It's fantastic. Actually, we're alluding to it. For those of you that don't know the Papis, it's actually really exciting. Once upon a time, we had Les Myrmidons, which was a regional team out of France.
Yeah.
Oh, so you can do the accent, but I can't.
Well, because I was actually realistic.
Les Myrmidons.
That's not too bad.
Mine's better.
Okay.
My point is, regional teams are somewhat of a rarity, and the Papis here are representing Spain. All 5 members come out of Spain. It's very exciting.
Do they all come from Spain? I'm pretty sure they do right now. There have been times where they've not had a Spanish person in their squad, so I'm not 100% certain on that right now. I will double check it, but I'm just checking my information first. Raven, though, gets through this time after the banning phase. Jungle, focus for that for sure.
I think the Bologna ban is more important than the Raven, in all honesty. Arlong, Shen, and Fafnir, Eanix can deal with that. Bologna, the thing with Bologna is, yeah, the stun and all that, 50 protections in the circle that she jumps in changes a team fight, whether you realize it or not. So, very big ban. Raven will be joined by Sol and Terra on Eanix. The Papis, however, Arlong, Shen, and the Fafnir. Who goes third?
I'm not so sure. Maybe a mage for the mid lane could be an option for them. Something relatively safe. I think Sol is going to be in the mid lane at the moment from Eanix. I'm not so sure we're going to see Funballer playing that. No. Sol's starting to turn towards this mid lane mage now. She's actually classed as a mage already, but I feel she's very much focused on the mid lane play. Zero's the one that really showed that off for us at Masters.
Sol has always felt more like a mage to me personally, and here recently she's definitely more in that realm. I think that she's going to be able to work out in that mid lane, like you said. If it was a Chronos, I'd say that's going to Funball despite the meta. That's his guy.
I mean, Lobster plays quite a good Chronos too,
yeah,
so it's a bit rough to actually commit that one, just in case.
Yeah, we'll see. Sun Wukong and his clone banned out. Also, Odin banned out. Scylla will be the selection for the Papis.
With the Nemesis pick as well, Scylla's damage will increase just because the protection shred from Nemesis will cause so many problems of just the crush damage. Not necessarily I'm a monster, which is what the real kill option is, but the crush is just going to go through the roof.
Eanix got, oh man, Eanix is happy right now. Ducky loves his Hercules. You've got Ho Yi in the hands of Funball, and then Raven on the new jungle. I think this is a wonderful selection for Eanix. Across the way, Papis still get their flavor. They get the Cupid for Warchi, which is one of his go-to characters, and although you lamented the fact that you kind of wanted them all in, Nemesis and Scylla are going to work out very well in the late game and a little bit. I like the draft for the Papis.
I do prefer the draft from the Papis this game. And when I said like I wanted a little bit more, not necessarily over flavor, I think this is the right amount of flavor for the team. The Cupid, though, for me, tells me that Warchi just wants to fight. Yeah. Warchi just wants to fight all the time in this duel lane. He's going to pick guys that can box all day. He's against the Ho Yi. What's good against Ho Yi? Cupid.
Yeah. I mean, that's what.
What's good against Rama? Cupid's pretty solid against Rama too.
Yep. What's good against Hercules? This is where you say Cupid.
Anti-heal.
Say Cupid.
Anti-heal.
Say Cupid.
No, because it's not necessarily Cupid. It's anti-heal.
It's Cupid. Cupid can ult and he can't driving strike. What about Cupid with a brawler speed stick?
Oh.
Now say Cupid.
No, I'm not so sure. No, I'm not sold. You know why?
Say Cupid!
No, because Brawler's Beast Stick on Cupid isn't that good because you only get to proc it off your Heart Bomb and off your ultimate, so you're not going to get full use of it.
Cierra la boca. Warchi's Cupid is the answer, okay?
It wasn't game 1. So let's see if it works out game 2.
I honestly enjoyed Warchi's Cupid. I think it was about the rest of the team.
This invade is very interesting. Try and deny Terra from getting off to a good start. Although we do see the frenzy picked up early on by Pigman Tings here for the power spike. They wanted to start with a Ho Yi in the jungle, take away some creeps, be able to use the ricochet to an advantage, but instead, Papis want to box them out and deny that.
I love that decision from Big Man Tings to go for the stun instead of the clear.
Frenzy.
Now with the frenzy, the ricochet not perfect, and the body blocks out of the support are going to be strong, but Warchi still has a long ways to go. Funball still on the chase. The clap will miss! Big Man Tings! Oh, with the little man things.
So what happens now is this lane becomes very... Oh no, the double shot changed that. I was about to say, it becomes very, very slow in the duo lane all of a sudden, but now Warchi's in trouble and Funball is still wanting to chase that down. The first ricochet from Funball, you said, wasn't really on the mark. It was perfectly executed for me. He got the wall bounce he was looking for because he realized he couldn't get the angle with his auto attacks.
I thought he was looking for
he bounced it off the wall, which was perfect. And the second one with the double tap puts Warchi under more pressure. The good news for Warchi, though, is he is Cupid, so he can resustain.
Here's the deal, though. Cupid doesn't want to get the hearts right away.
No, but he may have to. Like, to be fair, it's level 3. He'll probably get it at level 3, more than likely not level 2, unless he really needs to sustain that. But I think his health pool, I'm not sure if I think he did start Death's Toll or Transcendence, which means he's got health potions galore. No, he didn't start either. I thought he was going to be Transcendence tier 2 and health potions, but no.
He went with the Bluestone.
Bluestone boys.
Creed, he'll be fine.
And I think that's the
Fine's pushing it. He's going to get pushed out of lane here.
He's got teleport though, so he will be back in time for his full wave. And I think that's the big talking point for Papis and me is how well Creed can do in the solo lane this season. Because Creed's coming up against where I believe EU is so very strong right now is the European solo laners are insanely good. And every matchup is going to be more and more difficult every single week for Creed. And he's just got to find that balance of like where he measures up against them and learn from playing against them.
Ducky's one of the better players, but he is fresh. He is newer, right? Yeah. So once we see him start going, I want to see what he does against Variety. I want to see what he does against some of these more veteran players. Ducky, I think, especially on this Hercules, is one of the stronger players in the league. Here comes the rotation at Lobster, and Warchi with a nice dodge gets away from the mid lane once, but not twice. Lobster gets the first kill.
Look where the Papis mid laner and jungler are right now. They were late getting back to the lane to go and clear the wave. It means they were trapped there, unable to rotate to the left-hand side. I guess the call was a little bit late from the Papis jungle and mid laner as well. To that dual lane, they could have a rotation coming out. And in the end, they get punished for it with Fails rotating and Lobster too. It's a big rotation with no punishment. The only punishment that happened was the loss on the right-hand side of the Elementals, but that was already answered back by the Oracles by Eanix.
That was just a great rotation out of the mid lane. I hesitate to call it standard, but when your dual lane is that pushed up for that long after that engagement that went on in the jungle, you know, you have to expect the mid lane to come through. So, really nice job by Lobster to do exactly what he kind of needs to do.
I like this commitment from Daylo to the right side if he can find Ducky here, but double knock up, double pull, double boulder!
Double Ducky!
But it's not enough. I love the play though, the fact that he comes into lane to just farm and hits the full wombo on 2 characters. Ducky's showing there's a reason Eanix picked him up from Lion Guard and looked to hire him and kind of showed it there for a second.
I told you, man, Ducky on this Hercules specifically, Ducky in general, so Ducky, what makes Ducky so good for me is that EU and NA have two different metas when it comes to god selection and understanding of the game. North America, for example, the most recent example, I guess, is the world of Cabrakan, right? Ducky is a guy that bridges that gap. He understands North America, he understands Europe, and he kind of plays both wherever he needs to.
I love the fact that Draco Malfoy being behind is going to give Eanix such a lead now, because you can just see Big Man Tinks has his ultimate mob. Draco Marino just wants to hit level 5 so we can have that Dragon Form start making an impact on this Fafnir that everyone's been crediting for being so strong.
Draco Malfoy?
Did I call him Malfoy?
He called him Malfoy.
Sorry, Draco Marino. I knew I was going to do that once because, like, as soon as I hear Draco, that's what I think of. The old school Draco Malfoy.
Right, but Harry Potter plays mid in North America. It's an Andy joke.
It's an Andy's joke? Oh, okay. I'm not sure.
It was a bad one.
I'm sorry, I don't see many games with mid laners from North America in them in London International, so I don't remember them that well.
See, I just made the bad joke.
My bad.
I made the bad joke.
I made you look better by doing a salty one instead.
I'm with you on that. Going for the salty joke. Fails looking for the assault on the right-hand side.
But at the same time, I like the fact that we were both trying to set up for the other thing. Fails was waiting there to see what Daylo was going to do. Daylo did exactly what he did last time, where he just wanted to show presence of like, excuse me, Ducky, just recognize that I am a nemesis. And if you do step one hair too far forward, we will commit to you, and we will try and kill you.
And I like the Fails didn't jump in there. If Ducky finds the flip kick, then Fails finds a route, a jump forward, etc. But he just takes the farm and walks away.
This game's been a little bit as slow as game 1 was, I believe, at the start of the game anyway. The only difference is that Papis are not in the lead in this one, which means that they're just trying to farm up, look for the camps, catch up a little bit in this experience. It's not much of a gap, though, between the two. It's only that first blood that's really separated them.
I mean, so in game number 1, right, Wheelish wanted to do early game things, wait during the mid game, and then punch people late game with their mage.
Sure.
The Papis here, they're just trying to tread water until Daylo, Boom, and Draco Marino are late game monsters.
Mid to late. And if the Papis can just hold and not give up too much early, like 3 Gold Furies as an example, they have to just keep treading the water, wait for this mid game, and then turn it on. But if Draco gets caught here, it could be a bit awkward for him. Obviously, he had Dragon Form anyway, so he's never really going to die in that situation. But the main focus is stay alive. Wait for Nemesis to hit that power, those power spikes that's starting to come through, and Scylla's crush damage to start really hurting.
Yeah, my biggest key here is don't let Creed walk into 4 people like he did 17 times in game number 1. Dalo gonna look for the tower dive here. Likely goes right for it. Ultimate is good. Couple of smacks of the sword and the slice and dice. Gets the kill. Creed with the credit. Big assist from Dalo.
Not so sure what Ducky was looking at with the ultimate there. I think he was looking for the immunity in case he got taunted by Creed at the same time, just so he could buy himself an extra moment. But the amount of damage that was going to come through from Dalo anyway was just going to be too much for him. I think if he just tried to hide behind the tower, run for it, he might have had a little bit more of a chance because the dash was down.
Also, so I think you hit the nail on the head with the CC immunity, but also the ability to kill the minions. If there's no minions and the players get targeted,
tank it as well. But at the same time, like if you ult under a tower, you deal damage under a tower, you're going to get aggro from the tower anyway. Bit of 2-1 half on the other, but you know it's fine. Ducky was going to die in that situation more than likely anyway.
Yeah, I think that's the ultimate piece of analysis that whatever Ducky did, he's dead.
Mid lane, bit of pressure coming on though, because Fails from one side and Big Man on the other. The bad news is that Ojo's sidestep ability was pretty solid there just to avoid that damage, but it has set up Eanix to look for the invade on the speed.
And I like this. Lobster hanging out in the wing. Just zoning out a little bit. And there's going to be Dalo coming in on the mid side, and like you said, just a little bit too late. Failed successfully get it, but now this is good for the Papis, collapsing on Eanix's unit while leaving Funball on the left side. The Papis need to stay aggressive here, Graham.
No, they're not going to find anything other than the elementals. I want to see what Funballer does on the left, because I think they just lost their speed buff. And with Funballer now being left on this left-hand side alone, he's going to get the red buff too. So instead of Papis only losing speed buff there, they end up losing their red too, because they don't find a commitment or a trade in response to the engagement.
Yeah, I don't think Funball needs to drop the ultimate there, but does just to be safe.
First, yeah. You might as well use it, just make sure you can secure it. Also gives me an idea that Eanix won't be looking for a Gold Fury just yet. They've got to be a little bit worried of Iron Monsters, Fields of Luck, things like that, so they're going to need picks first of all. So sit back, carry on farming, get small leads, and continue to develop them.
Duck is going to be in a little bit of trouble here as Creed starting to feel himself. Him and Bobo the dog able to deal some damage.
We'll say Creed's looking a little bit more comfortable on the Erlang Shen. Compared to last game on that Sobek. But we'll see how he continues this for now, because it is still early days on this Erlang Shen, and Hercules, you know, he's going to have a harder time clearing the wave to an extent, especially with all the pressure that Dalo has been showing there as well.
Funball showing that he's ready to take the fight. Level 11 to Warchi's 9. Certainly no slouch in this game. Earlier, Warchi kind of had the upper hand on Funball until that ROM started to get online. Here on the Ho Yi, from minute 1, Funball has ran this lane.
And he's 2 levels up now as well on Warchi, which is a bigger telling point for me. Especially when you think about how the game started between the duo lane, where they invaded, nobody got a single minion in the jungle, and they both ran to lane at the same time. They should have been behind every other lane in this game, and Funball is keeping pace with the highest level in the game in the solo lane, which is Creed.
And a lot of that has to do with the fact that they've left Funball alone. I mean, even that giant team fight on the right side of the map, Funball was just kind of farming on the left side, which is exactly what Funball wants to do.
Shifter's shield on Funballer. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So this has been one of the more standard pickups. I mean, I say standard pickups, it's been like 24 hours. But recently with the latest patch, Shifter's shield has definitely changed and has really helped out in the hunter regard.
Basically, you get more protections when you're at low health, and you get even more power when you're at high health. That's the only real change that happens overall. Yeah, so he's going to get more power, but as soon as he gets low on health, he's going to have a bit more survivability. But this bait was pretty good to try and get Warchi in trouble, but he misses the root. He's still committing. It's a tanky man. Is that good old Robin, and one of the reasons you see him banned so often.
He also has 5 abilities because he bought a Sunder, so let me fix that face, says Fails. And he successfully does so.
Yeah, Cupid's face is a little bit messed up, I'll be honest. Meanwhile, Fails, though, now on zone duties. Gold Fury's pulled. Lobster and Big Man Tings just slowly chipping away at this. But those two will take a long time, and they did need Funballer to join in. But now with the aggression from the Papis showing up, Eanix have to surrender their idea of starting the gold.
I like that. I like the try from Eanix, but I like the retreat better. I think we see a lot of mid and low-end teams kind of discuss retreating and don't really want to leash it.
It's the ultimate problem. That's the problem, is that they're scared of the all-in ultimate that can come out from a Scylla.
Yep.
I'm a monster just deals so much damage, and the Fields of Love to trap you all inside at the same time could spell doomsday for the team of Eanix and mean that they lose the Gold Fury and lives, or one or the other even is also detrimental to them. Why not just play it safe and continue establishing the lead?
Exactly. This is a very important Gold Fury. If the Papis take this Gold Fury, they take the lead and can run away with it. So that's why Eanix are very, very cautious about this one, despite Fails trying a second time.
So the cameraman just showed there was a ward down there for Papis, another Gold Fury was going on, and that's what Eanix were looking for. Find out whether or not he did have it available. A bit surprised by Funballer's ultimate there. I guess he thought Warchi's dash was down, or he wanted to try and force it earlier. Instead, Funballer technically wastes an ult for nothing, as does Big Man Ting.
So Funball drops the ultimate to force the dash out because he knows that Fails is making his way to the left-hand side. Unfortunately for Funball, his fans, and his team, Fails was also bringing the entirety of the Papis team, so that gank that he was trying to set up intelligently couldn't actually happen.
I tell you what,
very good play by the Papis.
Because I spoke about ward so much, the spectators are obsessed now with clicking on every ward, like, look guys, look at this. But I like his point, because there's a lot of wards on this map yet again. This time around, it's the Papis that are doing it. They recognize that's where they seem to have a downfall last game, so they're trying to correct it of controlling the vision in the jungle.
Funball, Fails, Lobster, the three members of Eanix here to stop the Papis' Gold Fury push right about now, and they'll be successful, just sort of by showing up.
It's one of those dances around 10 to 15 minutes that generally happens around the goal. Both teams feel confident enough that they could have a fight at the Gold Fury. They just don't want to be the one that commits at the wrong time. They don't want to be the one that, overextends a little bit too much or is unaware of a situation that's developing elsewhere on the map.
13 on the clock. And just a 1,000 gold lead for Eanix, which is pretty much, I won't call it a tie game, but I won't call it a lead.
No, it's not a huge lead. I mean, it's a start to a game. It's a very slow method. This is like old school EU with how game 1 went for me and how game 2 is. Early game, not too much happens. 15 to 17 minutes. All right, we'll start to see some action now, and then the game will develop. But it's been very focused on farming, low amount of kills so far, which is kind of to be expected at the start of the league, Start of a new split, you don't want to put the wrong foot forward at the beginning. You want to get off to a good start if you can help it. Eanix found game 1. They don't want to split either.
Exactly.
So they need to find the 2-0, because Valencia's only a few weeks away already.
That's very true. We're in a 5-week split here, essentially, folks. So you're going to get to see your favorite teams play for, 5 weeks. That's exactly.
That's why it's called 5 weeks, right?
Yeah, I pretty much just said it. Gold Fury, though. That's not going to take 5 weeks. It'll take 5 seconds. Down it goes. Eanix gets credit for it. Right side.
They need to get out. Papis need to leave the venue as quick
Girdle
as they
beans,
can.
go!
Fantastic work coming out from Warchi's ultimate there to disengage them. Because on the right-hand side, we had a fight going on at the same time, by the way. I believe the Papis took the Portal Demon over there. Not sure if it was stripped away. Yes, Portal Demon did go to the Papis, while Lobster and Ducky were trying to defend that one. So a trade, but it goes in favor of Eanix just because the gold amount is worth more to them.
That's the play that you asked the Papis to make earlier. Not sure if it was earlier this game or last game, but you said sometimes you just got to give it up. Eanix go ahead, take the Gold Fury. The Papis give up the Ghost, and they go right for the Portal Demon.
The most important thing there, though, for the Papis was the fact they didn't lose any lives on that trade.
Sure.
If they lose the lives at the Gold Fury as well, then it was a bad call. It wouldn't have worked out as well for them. But securing the Portal Demon does have might enough. Funballer's way too far forward here.
Yeah, he's got to jump out, and Big Man Ting's going to force Dalo out with the clap.
How is Funball still alive? Can Funball get killed here? Beads are now down. The heart bomb will explode. Stunning 3. Draco gets the kill. And now Lobster could be in trouble. I'm not sure why Ojo wants to retreat there. There was 3 men around this Gold Fury that could have committed for looking at Big Man or Lobster with that Fafnir ult being used.
Funball, oh my goodness.
He bought a lot of time.
He bought a lot of time, yeah, sure. Walking into your teammates with... He's just lucky that the Papis didn't capitalize off of that stuff.
I agree, because he should have been another death there.
That should have been at least another death.
It could have been another death. I know Fails was in the mid lane as well from Eanix, so maybe Papis were a little bit worried about Fails rotating in. But with a full combo from Draco Marino on that Fafnir available in the ultimate form too, so he's 2 stuns and the coerce damage, they should have found another.
What I will say, though, is I think last game was lost by the Papis being over-aggressive, taking their skill and thinking that it was taking their skill and I don't want to say underestimating their opponent because that sounds very negative, but in the sense that Papis are just used to a different level of competition, right? So they kind of did what they're used to, which is over-aggression. Here, Again, I asked them to grow. I would rather see under-aggression and then watch them continue throughout the season.
Game one for me was more the fact that Papis weren't used to being ahead and having a team know how to come back into a game from being in a negative standpoint at the start.
Okay.
What Eanix did was, what I keep talking about was the ward coverage was the reason they got themselves back in that game, found the picks and response and evened it up. Game two, Papis, they're the ones that are off to a bad start, but they're the ones with a better vision across the map now. They've answered that back themselves because they know how to deal with it too. The one problem is, though, is that Funball is just doing so well. It might be a different story now, though, as he full commit onto him.
Yeah, Papis underneath the tier 1 tower. The duo lane, not going to get anything for it. 2 ultimates used, both the jungle and the hunter. Here comes help from Lobster out of the mid lane, trying to take down the support. Draco jumps forward, and no crowd control available. The ultimate comes out of the hunter, and that's going to force the ultimate out of Draco.
Good work from Draco, but he got CC'd in place. That's very awkward, because now in goes Fails as well.
Let me fix that face.
He will secure and fix the face indeed. Warchi falls back to his tier 2 now. Eanix want to continue the pressure. The bad news is they've got a tier 1 standing in the way, and they'll have to accept that instead.
The discipline out of Eanix. This is just a different squad, man. I think that the change to fails is, and Ducky here are just going to be so strong for Eanix. Eanix were a strong team last season and had a ceiling.
Risky play from Mojo Boom that nobody's thinking about because you're in that ceiling like, if I get this 4-man route off, or 3-man I should say, as well as a crush, we could turn this fight. But by baiting around like this and swinging around the back, you could just lose the tower for free. If he would just fall back to his team there instead, just come under the tower, hang under his tower with his team, throw out the clutch to kill the minion waves, it's a different story for Eanix there. They probably won't get the tier 2 tower.
Ducky throws out the ultimate one more time, trying to take down, I think, the wave more importantly than Creed.
Yeah, just focusing the wave player out so he can put a bit more pressure on the right-hand side again, knowing that Eanix are still trying to siege up the mid lane, and with Creed going back to base, Ducky's trying to just deny that over and over again, keep him pinned here longer, allowing him to be able to rotate earlier than his opposition.
So here's going to be the push coming out from the guys in blue. That's Eanix, of course, the ultimate out of Cupid one more time. What was that? Not a strong look for Warchi.
Trying to keep them off the tower, but I don't like the fact that it's Warchi the one that's engaging for this team. Where's Draco with these hammers? You know, we need to see Creed leave this solo lane now and start grouping up with the team. Both the solo lanes need to get in because they're missing some of that front line.
Let me eat my words before it gets too late. Warchi drops the ultimate, doesn't hit anybody, but we always joke about zoning ultimates. Legitimately, zoning ultimate. The ultimate comes out and the wave dies while it's out, which means the wave is no longer there. Eanix can't push forward. The ultimate out of Warchi was actually very strong.
After, to be fair, if they lose that mid lane tier 1 tower, this game changes completely, and Eanix really do take an absolutely huge substantial lead just because of map coverage. Both towers down being on the left and one in mid lane.
Exactly.
It means defending the Gold Fury is almost impossible for a safe spot to start from. Yeah. So you have to defend that tier 1 after losing 2 on the left-hand side. Yep. And the Gold Fury now being looked at, Warchi trying to defend, but I don't think he can stop. The Oracles go in the way of Eanix.
Yeah, Funball knows that angle every step of the way. Cupid heart bombs are always fun.
Creed's a little bit too far forward on this right-hand side here. He's going to be very careful because now Fails is here. Creed's going to ult in place, though. Deal some damage back. Has the heal coming through, but now that heal's down, still committing is a little bit of a risky business. I say that, but wrapping around the back is Dalo, and here's Draco.
Yeah, 2 very tanky characters assisted by the Nemesis. Here's the Girdle to help as well. Big boulder, but Ultra Move's even bigger. Wow, the ultimate completely off the mark, and Lobster takes his money. Lobster takes $2. Creed goes down as well. Fails in trouble, trying to find the kill before Draco goes down. They trade out a 3 for 2 in the direction of Eanix.
Look at who committed to that as well. That was Papis diving a tier 1 tower. Papis dive for the tier 1 tower, lose 3 in trade of 2, and they don't even get the tower either.
Yeah.
Not a great look for the Papis there. I could see what the call was, but Dalo got those hunger eyes of like, I must ult Herc, I must kill Herc, kill Herc, kill Herc. And he gets picked apart from it. As well as Ojo Boom missing the I'm a Monster. That was unfortunate. That was unfortunate. He just misplaced that. He was trying to juke, you know, find a rough target to try and hit in that fight. In my opinion, it fails, but misplaced it.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta hit that as a mage, right? I mean, it's. I always talk about how Hebo exists, and if he misses the ult, the team fight, and arguably the game is lost, right? Ojo Boom on the Scylla, you gotta hit the I'm a Monster.
Credit where it's due though to what Lobster did, because as soon as the I'm a Monster was used, when I'm a Monster is used, you stand in place of Scylla. It's a small animation that actually has a cast time, and Lobster just dropped the whole of his ultimate on the head straight away. Creed is trapped in a corner. There will be no escape. I say that as he does find a hole somehow, but with Lobster coming in, it will be his death sooner rather than later. Gold Fury though, Funballer versus 3. If he got that,
I would have jumped up.
If he got that, there was a small outside chance of like the ricochet.
That's why I was so silent. I was just sitting there waiting.
Let the moment just breathe.
Yeah.
Right? Let just see.
Honestly, like, I mean, not that I want to get into like the nitty gritty of my job here, but sometimes the moment is just more exciting than anything I can say. And I just want to watch football go for it, you know? Just like, yeah, dude.
Give it a go. See what happens.
Maybe you'll hit it.
So Papis get the gold, Papis get tier 1. But Eanix might get a Phoenix. The Fields of Love will stop ducking his tracks. Fails gets hit by the ultimate from Dalo. Dalo still committing, looking for the pickup on Fails. But Fails is just trying to buy time to pull Dalo out of position. Luckily enough, Dalo recognizes at the last moment and falls back to safety.
What a great play by Dalo. He goes ahead and he ults the most applicable target, which is going to be the Robin, right? You get a lot of bang for your buck, but he's killable, unlike our Hercules. Plus, it's going to force the other characters that have peel to come peel for their jungler, which forces them off of the Phoenix. Just a wonderful heads-up play by Dalo, understanding the correct target and how his opponents are going to react. If he ults anybody else, they might get the Phoenix. He ults the right target, commits to the target just the right amount. Wonderful play.
Papis are doing a good job, though, of trying to stay objective even with trying to take down these towers. They get the Gold Fury, they get a tier 1 tower in the mid lane. Yes, they lose tier 1 and tier 2 on the right-hand side, but they've done a better job of trying to answer this back with towers of their own. This grouping from them, I think, is very solid. It's going to be to their play styles. It's something we didn't see before because they were very much split in these team fights, but now they're running around as a group and they can fight as a 5-man unit.
Yeah, let's take a look at the graphs real quick because I think this is a really important point here, is that what you saw from Eanix, there was a little bit of a dip right there, and that's what's enabled Papis to sort of just feel themselves.
Oh, Lobster just deleted Ojo Boom! Where did he go? The dog was out, the Sentinel was down, but it's too little too late. Lobster gets a double kill.
Another one for the mid laner right there in Fire Soul. 5-0-4. Lobster looking hot. Hot, hot, hot.
People underestimate the damage of Sol now. That's the problem, is everyone seems to underestimate how much damage it's going to do.
She's a mage.
Supernova, man. Supernova swings for the houses as well.
She's a mage. She does mage damage. She also does this.
Shred
She's able to just
towers.
shred towers. And that's where Soul's new identity kind of sits. And frankly, her old identity, y'all just didn't understand it. If I may stand on my high horse real quick, right? When it comes down to it, you look at characters like Vulcan, and they're a mage, and they do very well when it comes to objective denial, which is what Poppy kind of wish they had right now.
Oh, Ducky took a lot more than he bargained for there, but so did Warchi with Fails coming in. Ojo Boom is going around the corner, and Fails maybe a bit too far forward, but he's got support from his team.
Warchi drops the ultimate as well, going to control BMT for the moment, but he's a little bit too spicy for the Poppies to deal with, and the dash away is real. And the Eanix are going to look right back at the fire.
No, they can't F up because look at how low Big Man Tings is right now. Look at the ults expended by Eanix. Pappies have 3 ultimates available. One of those being the Scylla ultimate. Again, I keep harping on that because it's one of the best secures in the game, at least in this match.
I like the Poppies there staying aggressive, looking for the players that are backing. They now know somebody was backing. Poppies are going to start the Fire Giant themselves. Funball has to jump away. Here's help from Lobster. Big tall 3 players caught up, but Creed's in trouble. He gets kicked underneath the tower with arms wide open. Creed falls down. It's all about Fails.
And Ojo Boom missed the I'm a monster, but now he's too far forward, and the bullet will chase him down. The double tap hits Draco a second time, and the Dwarf is being chased down by an army. The Earthbreaker hits. Over the wall he goes, but he will get away. That was just a small difference between wins and losses for the Pappies, because I think Creed did that so well with the ultimate.
Yeah.
The follow-up, the backup just wasn't there in time to connect, and because of that, Ducky, who was peeling, comes back to his team and takes Creed back to the tower to pick him up.
Ducky, Funball, you gotta stop. Ducky was so much fun. Funball, you gotta stop. Ducky was so much fun to watch. Funball, you gotta stop. Thank you. Ducky was so much fun to watch there. Last year, the Twitch, or last split, the Twitch spam was the duck is coming. The duck is already here.
Oh, Warchi's gonna ult Ducky. Ducky's already got mitigate wounds down, so they have to kill him quick.
Look at that!
Big ol' heal will come through. Now that Warchi's gonna run for his life as Dalo was looking to clean up Bumballer, but Dalo's been isolated now because Pappies had to fall back. Draco had to peel for Warchi, meaning Dalo was left alone. And another kill away of Eanix.
The duck is here. Oh, man. And Lobster. Lobster has one of the oldest accounts in the game. When you talk about players that have been playing for SMITE for a long time, Lobster's account number is like 5. I might be exaggerating a little bit, but realistically,
it's top 50. I think it's something like out of 50.
He's been playing since closed beta 2012. And you want to know what's remarkable about Lobster? He's never had... What?
He's never happy. He never smiles. He's Norwegian.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to think of what's
all of
incredible.
those are correct.
Okay.
But he's never had a down slump. All of these, I can name almost every single pro has had a moment where they haven't been as strong. And Lobster gets quiet, but he's never bad. This 6-0-6 is never a surprise. It's never a yank out of a slump. It's just Lobster being Lobster.
But this is one of the things with Sol now starting to transition towards the mid lane play so often and being seen as a mage by the mages in the mid lane. You're going to see a lot of the pros that have been around a long time do very well on it because the survivability of Disapparate will create so many situations for you to survive and get yourself out of a bad situation or deal a hell
it's a combat call. Draco walks into the middle of everybody, and Ducky puts him down. Lobster puts him down. Ducky puts his friend down. 2 already dead on the side of the Papis, and we didn't even start fighting. She's going to fall down as well. Here's possibly number 4 if Lobster can keep up, but he'll let Creed and Bobo walk away. The rest of the squad will take a look at fire.
And at this point of the game, Papis are just trying to fight into a headlong team of Eanix that are just stronger. They're higher level. They've got loads more gold in their coffers as well, and it's causing Papis so many problems to try and do anything in these engagements. Yeah, they find one member. Eanix don't really care at this stage who they find. They just want to find a guy and blow him up. They just focus to Fafnir, one of the probably most survivable gods available to the Guardian role.
Draco, that was an egregious mistake, unfortunately. Draco. And so I want to make sure that I say that I have really enjoyed watching the Papis fight from behind. This game specifically, they've been down 8K and they don't really care, and that's a mindset thing.
I was kind of worried Papis might be a little bit off the pace of how the SPL flow will go. But coming into this, they've done some homework. Sure. They've prepped well. And right now, though, they're probably going to lose a couple more lives unless Ojo Boom can find that ultimate. Cancel that, unfortunately. Ojo may fall at the Titan any second. Ducky. As he fails really committing for that kill.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, for me, as Lobster and Fails pick up 2 more, putting 19 on the board, I think the Papis, all of their issues come from a lack of competition in their previous arena. And now as they come into the SPL, sure, they dropped 2, but they dropped 2 to Eanix, one of the top teams. This team, I think a lot of people will be surprised if they don't wind up at Valencia.
Top 4, top 5.